All right. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to this channel named JC Coco. It's not JC Coco, but JC Coco. As you can tell from the topic of this video, I'll be talking about 6 advantages and 6 disadvantages of cochlear implants. And I'm sorry I have not properly introduced myself. My name is Jenny. Okay, so I would go down into business, but before I go down into business, I will tell you a fact you probably never knew before, and it's based on Johns Hopkins Medicine. You might see me reading from a notebook. I have an outline here that will help me. So it's based on Johns Hopkins Medicine. It states that 1 in 5 Americans from age 12 and older actually have hearing loss, severe enough to have an impact on their communication. This is a fact I never knew before. Now you know this fact. Stay tuned to the end of this video and you would get to know another fact. All right, let's go and get started to knowing the advantages and disadvantages of cochlear implant. Now, everything I'm saying here on the advantages and disadvantages are based on WebMD, so you can go back later. Feel free to check the website and prove what I'm saying is true. And this video is not sponsored in a way. It's a personal video. All right, let me flip over to my outline. So the first advantage is this: you'll be able to hear speech at a nearly normal level. You'll be able to understand speech with lip reading. That's number 2. Number 3, it is easier to talk on the phone or hear the TV. And number 4, you may be able to hear music better than before. Number 5, you can pick up different type of sounds, which include soft, medium, and loud ones. Number 6, you can better control yourself, your own voice, so that it is easier for others to understand you. Now, these are the advantages of having cochlear implants. Now, I would go down to the disadvantage, but before I go down to the disadvantage of having cochlear implants, you yourself understand that with everything that is good, it has its own disadvantage. Almost 90% of what is good, we know every time has disadvantage. Even your common aspirin has its own disadvantage. Look at this, the back of it, and you will see side effects. Everything that has this good side has its bad side. So based on that, we're going to the disadvantage of cochlear implants. Number 1 is nerve damage. Number 2 is dizziness or balance problems. Number 3, hearing loss. Number 4, ringing of the ears, which is also known as tinnitus. Number 5, meningitis, an infection of the membrane around the brain. And they say it's rare, but when it happens, it can lead to serious complications. And your best option for you to be able to avoid this, so to say, is to get vaccinated in advance. Number 6 disadvantages of it, is that if the device does not work, the cochlear implant device, if it doesn't work, you might need to get it removed when it doesn't work or if it gets infected. So these are the 6 advantages and the 6 disadvantages of cochlear implants. I'm glad you know the advantages and disadvantages of these. But for those who don't know, I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but cochlear implant is a small device that is placed inside the ear, and for the normal man, it helps or aids hearing, and it is an option. It's called a prosthetic, a substitute for hearing, but not a cure to hearing. and most times, not even most times, it is an option when hearing aid cannot do the work it's supposed to do. So now you know the advantages, the disadvantages of cochlear implant, and what cochlear implant is in general. I just have something, just my own opinion to say before I give the last did you know fact. In cochlear implants, I would not be telling you not to do it or to do it. The decision is based on what is good for you or what is good for your child, if it's a child that is to have it. And I'm not advocating nothing, neither am I condemning nothing. Disclaimer. And see your medical professional for the best advice for you to be able to do the right thing. Okay. Now it warms my heart a lot when I see YouTube videos that says deaf hearing for the first time. It warms my heart, and I'm sure it warms the heart of other people too, including parents, hearing parents, so to say, hearing parents, yes, that has that they have, children that are born, let's say, hard of hearing or are born deaf. Yes, because for hearing parents to have a child that cannot hear, it's stressful for them. They know what I'm saying. It's stressful. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy thing. And they tend to look for options to be able to help the child have total benefit of life, which is good. And that is why cochlear implant has been made for this purpose. And I'm very thankful for those people that produce this stuff, this cochlear implant. It shows how much technology has advanced and grown. But like they will tell you to, the cochlear implant is just an option. I've seen I've seen a boy that did it and it didn't work for him. He actually had hearing loss totally. Well, based on that, I would like to say that sometimes parents would like to in their children just because they want them to hear. And I feel like I understand them, but on the other hand, I think the use of sign language also is important. Let me tell you why. Let's say, for example, the child is born hard of hearing, or the child is born deaf, and you inculcate sign language from the beginning. I think the child will be better able to express themselves, whether they have the cochlear implant in their ear or whether they don't have it in their ear. Because let me use an example. For example, the child is hard of hearing or the child does not hear, and then the child has to throw tantrum because you cannot understand the child cannot understand you. A majority of the times parents would want to force it on their child for the child to be able to hear. And there's a lot of things involved in cochlear implant. Your doctor will tell you there's after the surgery rehabilitation process, a lot of rehabilitation process, and it depends on the individual also. And apart from that one, you will see psychiatrists for your mental total, what's it called, evaluation. Not only that, you would also have to go to a speech therapist, and it's like learning a new language. Let's say somebody has been hearing, was not born deaf, was hearing, and the person was also what's it called, talking, understood speech. So the person, as soon as the person gets to lose their, gradually they lost their hearing, it becomes kind of difficult for the person to be able to communicate, and sometimes they tend to lose the way they speak. Some of them, especially if it's very very early, it's in an early age, so to say, because I see people that can talk but they're deaf because they've grown, let's say, for some time. It was the later age of life that they lost their hearing. So on that note, that's why you see some deaf being able to talk. And what am I saying? Talking about parents, some parents tend to want to force their children for them to be able to talk, hearing parents especially. And I understand the parents, because it's not easy to be in that situation. You might say she's just talking, she doesn't know what she's saying, she does not have children. Yeah, I don't have children, but from what I've seen so far, that boy I told you about that later lost his hearing, he was involved in sign language. And guess what? He was even happier using sign language at the end of the day. So for a child to be able to have total benefit, for a child to be able to have total let's say life expression, a life benefit. I don't know what the right word to use right now, but for a child to benefit properly, I think it is important at an early age that the parent should involve sign language, whether they have the option of putting the cochlear implant in the child or not. In that way, the child is better equipped for him or her to be able to know what he or she likes, so that he can decide as he grows to be able to know what he wants to use. And this is not based on any medical profession statistics or nothing. This is just my own opinion on what I think. I mean, it's going to be beneficial, because sign language is like French, like any other language we can think of, is a unique language for the deaf, Yes, for the deaf. And this topic I'm talking about is really sensitive for the deaf and the hearing people. I think they would even go and catch me and beat me if after I upload this video, probably. If you don't see me again, know what happened to me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so let's be sure it's a sensitive issue for them, because they feel like it's a genocide towards deaf community. But I'm not going to make the decision for you. The decision as a parent or as an individual is for you. And it is important that as a parent, you make decisions that you know would benefit not you yourself, will benefit that child that is having that condition or that issue. It is important that you look for the future of the child and not just your interest at that point. In other words, forcing the child to be able to speak when the child has gone through all process and is not able to do what you consider as normal. So it is important that you do the best thing for that child, and you will see that the child will have total benefit, and as time goes on, be able to decide which language he or she wants to use. On this note, I would like to say I think I've come to the end of this video. In case you see something in my teeth or in my mouth, I have custard bowl here with me. That's why. I said to you that I was going to give you the last fact, true fact. And what is it? Give me 1 minute, let me open my book. But the true fact is that, did you know that hearing loss is considered number 3 health condition following heart disease and arthritis in the United States? Did you know that? Well, if you did not, now you know. And with this, I come to the end of the video. Let me know what you think. Give the video a like. Subscribe if you like what you see. I think I will try and make a sign language version of this video, even if I know I'm not an expert in it. And with this, I'm signing out. Bye bye.